The final precision instrument that we will examine in Unit 15 is the Vernier Caliper, invented in the early 17th centuries in France by French mathematician Pierre Vernier. It consists of a beam, so this long portion here is the beam, and the scale, so this section down here is the scale. So you have the beam and the scale, and you have in a series of markings along the beam, and then in the scale you have the same series of markings but one less. So there's 25 markings to a specific length within the beam, and the same length, one less marking on the scale. And so as it moves, it creates a precision reading. So in this particular one, this is in English, and here, starting at 0, each one of these markings is 25 thousandths. So the long markings then mark the 100 thousandths marks. So 100, 200, 300 thousandths. So we would write the 300 thousandths down. Then how many of the smaller markings do we have? So 25, 50, 75. So we're going to add 75 to that. And then finally, looking along the scale, see which one of these lines up the closest to which number. In this particular instance, it is the 5. So 0, 0, and 5. We'll add all that together. There's a 0, carry the 1, makes that an 8, and 3. So this scale is measuring at 380 thousandths. So we can scroll down, do another English one real quick. Again, this is an English measurement. So here, once again, your 100, your 200, your 300. And because we're past, see up here we have 1 inch, 300. How many markings? We have 25, but not to the 50, so and then finally, the one that lines up the closest is the 7 on this scale. So you're reading the scale now. So the 7, you'll add 7 thousandths to that. And add all that together. There's 12 and 3 and 3. So 1 inch, 332 thousandths. And once you get used to using these, if you use it on a regular basis, you'll be much faster. You'll be able to add these numbers in your head without even thinking. So here's a metric measurement. Now the main difference with the metric measurement, if you look at this one, each one of these marks is a millimeter, it says here, and each one of these marks is 0.02 millimeters. So looking at this, we have 1, 2. So 2 millimeters plus, now we go to the scale, see which one it lines up with. So each one of these is 6, and each one of these is 0.2. When you get to these, they're 0.6, so 0.62. 2.62 millimeters. So let's look at another one. It's another metric one. Same thing down here. Each one of the markings is worth 1 millimeter. Each one of the markings on the scale are worth 0.02 millimeters. So now again we have 2 and 0.2 and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 0.28 millimeters. Get that out of the way. We'll look at this next one. Another metric one. Here you can see we're already at 9. So 91, 2, 3. So already we're at 93 millimeters. And they're helping us out by having it identify which one it is. So it's past the 8.8, 2, 4, 6. So 93.86 millimeters. Let's do another one. It's another metric one. We have 40, 1, 2, so 42. Point 02, 04, 06, 08.08 millimeters. Go a little bit, there we go, right in the middle. Here we have 160 plus 1, 2, so 162. Point, count the numbers out here, 62, 64, 66. 162.66 millimeters. Now we're back to the inch ones. So we look at this and we see that here's a 7, so we know we're at 6. We'll write it up here because we got more room. 6 inches. Point 6.7. And it looks like they're saying that it lines up right there. So 6.700. Scroll down again. Get this one nice and centered in the middle so we can see. It's another inch one. You see we're past the 4-inch mark now, so there's 4 inches. Point. See, we're just past that first mark, so 0.25. 0.025. and then we're going to add whether it lines up. So it looks at like at the 24 mark. So final answer, 4" point 049 inches. So let's scroll down again. It's another inch one. Here we have 1 inch, so we're starting with 1 inch. Point looks like 0.025. And look along the scale, another 12. So 1 inch. .037. 1 inch, 0.037. We'll scroll through this again. This next one up here. It's another inch one. We can see the 9 here, so we know it's going to be 8 point something, 8.7. We add the secondary mark, so 2550. So we're going to add .05, and then the last one, 0.21 right here. So 0.021. So 8.771. 8.771. I think we got one more to do. Another inch one. So we see a 3, so we know the number's going to be on this side is going to be a 2. 0.4. 2.4. We have 25, 50, 75, so we're going to add 75 thousandths. And lastly, this mark right here is at the 9 mark, so we're going to add 9 more thousandths onto that. So your final answer is 2.484. And I believe that's the last one on this scroll. It is. So I hope that helps you the next time you want to work with a Vernier caliper, and we will see you in class.